Right now, we have with us in the studio our second guest for today.
Now, the intro. What is insecurity and why has it become such a big problem in Nigeria? What are the contributing factors to the current state of insecurity in Nigeria? What can Nigeria learn from other countries which have experienced similar problems of insurgency and/or terrorism? Has Nigeria been playing the right kind of international politics needed to tackle this problem? What about the domestic approach? Is Nigeria waging the right psychological warfare? How can intelligence help out? Is the military way working? These are some of the questions we're about to pose to our esteemed guests. Retired Major-General Adewunmi Ajibade, security specialist and consultant, and former director of military intelligence, as well as deputy national security advisor. Welcome to the program. Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for coming to the morning show.
Happy to be here with you.
Thank you. Well, I mean, the challenge of security in Nigeria is a very hot topic. We keep focusing on it every week. And the other day, we had an interview with the Chief of Army Staff. And one of the points he was trying to make is that oftentimes Nigerians confuse defense with security. Now, what is the distinction? What's the difference? What is security? What is national security? How is it different from defense?
Thank you very much. What is security? Security is really to be able to go about your normal duties as citizens of Nigeria, unhindered, uninterrupted, without any problem. But let me go further. While we talk of national security, let's move further now because we're talking about national security. What I've said is about individual, group. But what is national security? I will quote somebody. National security is an absolute value. All other values are whereas resources are subservient to it. It is only possible through the provision of favorable environment, economic and military self-reliance, and stable political system for national security to be guaranteed. Strategy. According to President Obasanjo, I will quote him, is still relevant today. President Obasanjo in 2002 said that the primary objective of national security shall be to strengthen the Federal Republic of Nigeria. To advance her interests and objectives. Okay? National security and objective. And to contain instability. Enhance genuine development, progress and growth. Improve the welfare and well-being and quality of life of every citizen. From President Obasanjo's discourse, it has become something that national security will revolve around 4 important issues. First, economic policy has to be right. 2, defense policy, economic policy, and national development, according to him. Of course, you know, he was there for 8 years. So he has the experience. And that's why he could say that. But let's go back to the whole thing. Look at Nigeria. What are the general causes of insecurity in Nigeria? Of course, we are aware that so many things are wrong with our country. For me, I joined the military in January 1969. And what I've seen...
1969?
Yeah, January 18th of January 1969. From there, I went to military academy. From there, I went to defense academy. So I went to school everywhere. You get it now. For 37 years. I've been involved in too many things. Which is about coup d'etat because things are not going well. Don't party coup. investigated coup.
General, if you could just hold on there, we need to take a short break to go back to the Namaste Trump event at the Motera Stadium in India. We'll be right back. General, you were talking about dimensions of national security, economic policy, defense policy, development policy, and other aspects.
We're saying that if we right note, as you just said now, I think Nigeria will be a better place. If you look at what is going on, lack of employment, how many graduates can get a job? So people try to help themselves by committing crimes, try to help themselves to make sure that they're able to look after their families. And in the process, of course, they'll break the law. But let's look more into the whole thing. What are we up to really? What is really happening? How did we get to where we got to now today in terms of security? Because Nigeria, that's the key thing people are talking about in Nigeria of today. Lack of security, lack of security. Of course, it's true. Kidnapping, people that don't work but they want to eat, people smuggling, carrying drugs. The other day, I read that they were able to seize about 10,000 tons, 10.8 tons of tramadol in Borno State, where they are fighting terrorism. Of course, you know, drug, we enable them to be able to carry out what ordinarily they wouldn't be able to do. But let's go back to the issue of why we are here. On the issue of, on the hand, how do we get to this bridge? Now today, when this thing happened, the first thing we did when this Boko Haram thing came, of course, Boko Haram, for people that don't know, is, what does it stand for? No to Western education. And that's where Alhaji Yusuf, Malam Yusuf started it. So, and from there, because nobody paid attention, because nobody understood what was going on, it didn't develop and grew until the military captured Yusuf and they handed over to the police, and the police killed him. From there, of course, it became a full-blown terrorism. Okay? So, as become full-blown terrorism, now the government in Puerto Rico, because I was just hastening to say that in Nigeria, as at that time, nobody understood what terrorism was all about. Because we are used to conventional warfare. Face me, I face you, you get me now. Your strength against my strength, my weapon. But this one we are talking about, terrorism, is that you listen to the teachings, you believe in the ideology, you are motivated by the fact that you are going to die. If you die, rather, you are going to heaven. And some even believe that they will marry 42 wives for them in heaven. So how do you stop people who want to die? Who want to commit suicide? Well, on the Coke Bridge now, there's about 5 or 6 people have already committed suicide there. If a man is determined to die, how do you stop him? And of course, we are talking about fanaticism, you know, something in the hand. What is all these ideas? Is something in the brain. I'll tell you that we are lucky in this country. And about towards the end of 1990s to early 2000, something happened in one of the northern states. I don't want to mention them now, where this same group of people came to, they visited that place, and they already started trying to form organizations which have turned out to be like Boko Haram. But luckily, the emir of that town, with the people, were able to notice it, and they nip it in the bud. In fact, they've gotten to NTA Casida, already propagating it. They made sure the general manager was removed. And they finished that. God saved us. Second one, When I was Deputy Chief of Defense Intelligence Agency, by 2000, the ambassador in one of these eastern states, before South Korea, called me sometime. He said, look, some people, he want to send somebody to me from Korea. He was in Korea. And he said he was going to send somebody to me. And the guy, when he paid his fare, he came to meet me in Abuja, came to my office. And for a day we talked about terrorism, about apparently Al-Qaeda had recruited him to come and to head their branch in Nigeria. Okay? And when he came to me, we talked for almost a whole day. I tried to debrief him, And the only thing I could do, since intelligence are in three parts. First, the Department of State Service takes care of the internal security. Okay? Defense Intelligence Agency takes care of intelligence of military nature worldwide. That means, that's why they employ this, what do you call it? The defense attaché system. And then, of course, the NIA deal with intelligence of military, of civilian nature worldwide. That's why they work in the embassies. Okay. And with that, the Nigerian government, the whole thing was covered. So I now called the DG of NIA, and he came to my office to brief him on this development. But the guy was based in London. And he came and signed, and then I handed over the guy to him to run as an agent, double agent now. And apparently, the man went back to London. Of course, we are going to try to make sure that we know what is going on so that he wouldn't be able to plant Al-Qaeda in Nigeria. So one day, I was in my office, and the DG walked to my office and told me, I said, look, General, something has happened. I said, what? He said that man had been slaughtered. They slaughtered him. As they keep goat and sheep. His wife slaughtered, his children slaughtered, anything with life slaughtered. Of course, it was frightening. That ended that. I'm just trying to tell you. So when Yusuf said nobody paid attention to it, that's why the thing developed to what we are today. Now, we have gotten to this stage. How do we go about it?
How indeed, sir. Are there any successful counterterrorism strategies you can point to that have succeeded elsewhere that we could adopt here in Nigeria?
No, I'm coming to that's why I'm taking it step by step. You get me now? Just wait. When I finish, because so that we have, you will ask the questions. You get me now? Anyone you another. But that, if you are listening to me, you clear all what you are saying. Because how do you fight terrorism? President Bush, I'll quote President Bush. You get me now? The Americans, how are others doing it? Okay, I'll quote him. According to President Bush, how will we fight and win this war? That was after 9/11. Okay, we will direct every resource at our command. Okay, every means of diplomacy, every tool of intelligence, every instrument of law enforcement, every finance influence, and every necessary weapon of war to the disruption, to the defeat of global terrorism. You can even see. There's no way I'm going to say these soldiers were deployed. You get me now? Because these are issues that we're talking about. Everybody said, oh, soldiers, we remove chief of army staff, do this one, do that one. Everybody knows, or people like us, that to win war on terror, you must apply all elements of state power.
Is Nigeria doing so?
That's what we're coming back to. So we must apply, so that Nigeria will be the judge. You get me now? Let's just say, let Nigeria be the judge. Are we applying it? That's the question asked. What are those elements of state power we are talking about? First thing, when you realize terrorism diplomacy. Once you know it's full blood. But that is why countries don't always agree to come to terms with the fact that terrorism exists. Because once you start, people will expect that you will finish quickly. But everybody knows that to finish terrorism, somebody idea in the head. It's not like you are fighting me and fighting. It's idea in the head. How do you remove it? So it's not as easy as we are saying, or we say. So when diplomacy, with all your friends, that's why ECOWAS, EU, the US, every of your alliance and friends, you coordinate with it so that you get information to be able to get support and be able to begin to look at the causes and what you can do to stem it. Because of time, let me know. The next thing is intelligence. Of course, intelligence is key. Why do I say it's key? Because you need information, just like the news. You need, but in the intelligence world, it's even more detailed than that. Because you analyze it, it must be based on truth. Because truth will be had only one side. So once you get the intelligence, you analyze it and see how you can, and then compare with other information you are going to have. In liaising with all your neighbors, all your friends, all your allies, to make sure you get it. Okay? And then, of course, economic. You can see no employment, no job, imposition of dramatic penalties for those who break financial
regulations.
Support regulations. You must no compromise. Because once you give room, of course, you can see smuggling now. People smuggle all sorts of things, weapons and guns and everything. So those things are the things that fuel it. Because as long as there's money, and then there's weapon, and there's drug to promote them, of course, they will be ready to die. Apart from the fact that the ideology that is being held and which is motivated by the fact that they are going to heaven. All of us here, everybody wants to go to heaven. So the next thing is military, is what we call finance, money laundering. When you launder money, you go and use it to buy all these weapons. You must tackle it. Law enforcement, properly done. There's no point of police will arrest somebody, they take money, and some renegade police will take money. And of course, it's spoil the case. Of course, there's bitterness somewhere. And at times they want to vent the anger on other people. So military is supposed to be the last resort in Nigeria because we didn't understand what was going on. Military became the first line of defense. Remember the other day when they wanted to deploy American troops to Mexican border? They refused. Military, what are their roles? To defend the territorial integrity, that the territory of Nigeria is not violated. And the only word they apply is aid. Military are used in aid of civil authority, which is supposed to be the last of what it is. Should not be a priority. But today, that is it. Military are deployed in 36 states of the Federation. What is their strength?
150,000.
When in 1999, when President Obasanjo came to office, when he just got elected, he went to US. And he agreed with them that he was going to reduce the strength of Nigerian military to 50,000. I was in my office as Director of Training for the Armed Forces, and of course, Coordinator of Intelligence within the Defense Headquarters. And the American and the British, they came to me and told me that your president has gone to our countries. He said he was going to reduce the strength of the military to 50. I said, that's very good. Very good. But let me tell you something. Go and tell him that I was a general, but I still told him that it will never work. It will never happen. Of today, of course, we are talking about 150. What is 150,000 really? Some soldiers are deployed 5 years, they've not been able to see their families. They move from one operation to the other, because of the manpower. But even put that aside, military is not a solution. It's just a means to achieve the end. There's something I'm looking for now. I will look at it because it's very important that military is not supposed to be distant. Military is not a solution to our problem. We must look at both economic, social, political, finance, law enforcement, and of course, look at what is going on now. How do we win the war? Psychological warfare, propaganda, counter-propaganda, and counter-propaganda. You saw the tape about Shekau degrading our president. Of course, we should be able to respond.
So we're terrorists rather than ignore him?
No, we can't ignore him.
It should be responded to directly?
Yeah, so that he's talking to people. It's not about
the president and a minister, actually. He threatened the minister as well.
He's not the president to do that. No, he's not president.
So who ought to respond to him?
Agencies of government.
They should respond to him?
Yes, report. Because Shekau, all you need to do is to say, look, Shekau said, or rather, the Boko Haram philosophy says no to Western education. Why is using Western education?
Well, General, we don't have much more time left on the program.
Yes.
I think we should just draw the curtain on this conversation today. The level of strategy. What kind of strategy is best for an asymmetrical warfare?
That is what we are saying. It's not about, you see, fighting terrorism, it's not about...
We're about to get cut off, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.